I am Shanegotyou11, and with me as always is Trey.
Hey guys, how's it going? I hope everyone days is going well. It is a known fact that if you like this video and you leave a comment on this video that the next 5 games you play in Madden 20 you will win. It's just a known fact. So be sure to leave a like and then leave a comment so that the next 5 games you play you will win in Madden. So pretty short intro for today. We got the updates for the standings for the contest that we have going on. The the Bears the Bears beat the 49ers at Monday. So that means that Sports is still undefeated. He's at 4-0 right now. And our other contestant is at 4-1. And other than that, nothing really going on as far as intro wise. So Shane, how are you doing this week? How's the salary cap grind going?
Bro, it was go hey, it was going good until this patch. Like, they said it was a small patch, and as I've been playing, it is definitely easier to stop the run now, and they made 146 even more powerful. So obviously they're listening to pro players on certain things like they always do. And I mean, it's been I've been a little bit slipping and sliding down the rankings, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm still in the top 80, but I'm slipping and sliding. I gotta just adjust because everybody's running 146 or 3-4 bear. Also, you can check out the patch notes in my video that I made earlier this week, but I'm gonna just go over something really quick. Is with this patch, the low throw glitch is back. It beats any man coverage curl routes. So if you run curl routes and you know the guy is in man, just low throw curl route, and the defender will dumb out. If they're in zone and you're doing like streaks and deep posts, just low throw. The computer will dumb out. Or if you switch up to the user, it kind of dumbs out. But anyways, that's all I have to say about that right now. Trey, go ahead.
Yeah, I haven't, to be honest, I haven't really played a lot since the patch to really give my honest opinion. So that will remain to be seen. Um, but so let's go ahead and talk about the game that's coming up in an hour. We got Philly and we got Green Bay coming up for Thursday Night Football. I think Philly's gonna win this game. Aaron Rodgers, is he still hurt? Do you know?
I have no idea, but I was going to pick Philadelphia too because I feel like it's going to be an upset.
Yeah, because I thought A-Rod got hurt. I don't know. I know he got hurt in week 1, but I don't know what his deal is right now. But I'm also picking Philly. So I know Shane's kind of disappointed because Seattle took an L last week. So how do you feel about that?
To be honest, the Saints are a good team with or without Breeze. I mean, don't get me wrong, Breeze stirs a drink, but it's not like Teddy Bridgewater is so incompetent he can't do anything. I just felt like it was another vanilla game plan until the Saints started whipping the Seahawks butts, and then it was basically like balls to the walls, basically. But I mean, it happens. Losses happen. I mean, I'll be more concerned if Seattle can't go beat Arizona. But if after 4 games, if the Seahawks are 3-1, I'm really okay with it. I'm not like so like every game where it's like, oh my gosh, we're going to the Super Bowl, or oh my gosh, we're a 2-14 team. I mean, there's some people that I talked to that were saying the Seahawks when they're 2-0 were going to go 13-3 and win the Super Bowl. Seahawk fans, and then once they lost, they're going 6-10 and missing the playoffs. I'm not that up and down.
Yeah, there's still, Detroit's undefeated and Buffalo's undefeated at this point, which is pretty surprising. And the Patriots actually play Buffalo, so
They're going to kill
that,
Buffalo.
yeah, so that probably won't last that long. But we all know what the big the big news is with Antonio Brown. He played his first game with the Patriots, and now he's released. So, I don't know. I mean, in my opinion, I mean, if he has trouble with the owners saying that they owe him money. And obviously, I feel like if a man does the job, then he should be able to get paid, and that goes for any workplace setting. So he should get paid. He should get paid for the game that he did play. But as far as like the 9 million or whatever it is that he was guaranteed, it's a rough spot. Honestly, I don't know what the whole allegations he has going on or why he ended up getting released. But Shane, do you have an opinion on this thing, and do you think that AB can make a return to the NFL?
I think personally, here's what's going to happen. New England found some stuff that AB did. I know that he wrote like text messages to, I believe, a woman, and she had like a couple kids, and he was like warning her or making, I don't, like a threat somewhere along the line. So I saw screenshots. I didn't really care enough to like go delve into the whole thing, but what's going to happen is those allegations are going to go away, either hush money or he's really not guilty, and then somebody will pick him up. I'm pretty interested also in the Jalen Ramsey thing. I believe Jalen Ramsey will be traded after this week, and I actually think the Seahawks are going to get him. Seahawks or the Chiefs. That's my two guesses right there.
Yeah, Jalen Ramsey. That will be an interesting thing. Shout out to actually a fun fact for you guys. Gardner Minshew, the quarterback of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He actually, my brother ended up meeting him last week because he plays college football at WSU, and then he ended up going to the game. I live 30 minutes away from there, and it's kind of crazy because when I was looking at the picture, he doesn't really strike you as an athlete looking guy. Like he just looks like some random guy, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but it's kind of like Tom Brady to me.
Yeah.
He doesn't really like look like or Ben Roethlisberger, or I don't know. There's certain players I think Kyler Murray's not going to last in the NFL that long. I think he's going to get hurt. Just like I think he's like an RG3 clone. But yeah, I saw my buddies have season tickets to the Cougar games, and they were taking pictures with Gardner Minshew. So yeah, I mean, cool. It's a cool all around story for Gardner Minshew. Honestly, like he's all over the news.
Yeah, for sure. So this topic has become kind of an ongoing thing. I'm looking at the team of the week for week 3 in that Madden Ultimate Team. It looks like we have Mark Ingram. He has a pretty sick card art. He had 3 touchdowns and 103 yards. It's pretty. The Ravens are becoming kind of scary, honestly. They got Lamar. Well, not really scary because all they have is Lamar Jackson and ET3, in my opinion. But so you have him. You have Sammy Watkins, 198 yards. It doesn't say who they played against. I wish they did, but
oh, the Chiefs.
They have, yeah, the Chiefs, and then did Jamie Collins get back to back, or was that Hightower last week?
I honestly can't remember, to be honest.
Yeah, it's week 2. It's week. So it doesn't really look like nothing crazy. Or Clay Matthews, okay. Okay, so we have something pretty cool coming up. We have a history lesson for you guys, for those of you that are interested in the origins of the Madden history. I have some news. Shout out to whoever wrote this, because it wasn't really that hard for me to do the research. Literally someone already did it for me, and it was in a link. So shout out to whoever did that. We have the first Madden history lesson for the year 2000. So let's set the scene here. So the year 2000, I was a total of 3 years old, maybe. So, Shane, do you remember anything about the year 2000 for you and like what life was for you back then?
Um, it wasn't Madden, bro. It wasn't about Madden, I'll tell you that. It was about sports, like real sports, doing real sports. I was more of like an NCAA guy, video game, when I did play video games, or MLB. Honestly, I didn't mess around with Madden like I was saying, but yeah, it was, I mean, damn, that's so far back in the day. And you know what, Trey, I'm gonna give you props, bro. I remember now that you brought it up, but I totally forgot about the history lesson, how we're going to go by each year. I forgot about that. I'm happy that you remembered. So good job. Shout out to Trey on that.
Yeah, yeah, and shout out to people. I feel like it's pretty cool because last week we had people in the chat, and then we were able to come up with some pretty cool ideas for the podcast. So I always invite people, if they have any ideas to, bring up on the podcast, then we could all collab and then make a good idea. But so were you living in Spokane at that time in
No,
2000?
no. I was living in, with my parents still, outside of Cheney, so in the country.
Oh, so when did you move to Spokane? Like,
04.
oh, 4, okay.
Wait. Actually, 05, my bad. Man, you're really trying to go on me.
Yeah. All right, so Madden 2000 released August 31, 1999, and it is based on the 91 season. And this was before you had NFL players on the cover, so John Madden himself was on the cover at this particular time. It was for the Nintendo 64, the PlayStation 1, and Windows PC. And apparently the Cleveland Browns, I didn't know this, but I guess they weren't in the NFL for the 3 seasons prior. But I guess they got back in this game, though. The highest overall in this game was actually a 100 overall, according to this. Fullback Mike Allstott for the Buccaneers.
Hall of Famer.
And also Deion Primetime Sanders for the Cowboys were both 100 overalls. Mike Allstott was a little bit before my time, but I definitely have seen highlights from him. So yeah, those are both Hall of Famers for sure. 99 overall club, you had running back Barry Sanders, Hall of Famer, and then you have some random center guy, Dermonte Dawson. And if I'm reading this right, it says a punter. So apparently at one point a punter was a 99 overall, and he played for the Washington Redskins. Detroit Lions running back Barry Sanders was still included in the game. However, he retired from the NFL 4 days before the game actually came out. A little fun fact.
Oh wow, yeah, I didn't know that fact at all. Plus, did they have internet back then for it? Like, I know the internet was out in the mid-90s, but I'm saying, was internet playing that big of a deal?
I'm not sure. I don't think if I could be wrong, but I don't know. I think that online gaming didn't really come out until, I want to say, like the PS2 days, I think, but I could be wrong. Could be. All right, so I know that this part is going to be interesting. They actually listed each team's overall rating from back then, so you'll be able to tell what your favorite team was 19 years ago, basically. So the AFC South, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars at a 90 overall. We have the Tennessee Titans at an 86 overall. The Pittsburgh Steelers are an 85 overall. The Baltimore Ravens are a 77 overall. The Cincinnati Bengals were a 73. The Cleveland Browns were a 68. The AFC East, the Miami Dolphins, 91 overall.
Wow.
And this must be Dan Marino.
Oh, yep. It was this last year, I believe.
Yeah, and then 19 years later, they're the worst team in the league. So that's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. The Patriots were a 90 overall. That was like before Brady. Like,
wasn't that Drew
Brady,
Bledsoe?
Yeah, this was before Brady, but Bledsoe was still a solid quarterback for sure. We had the Buffalo Bills at an 89. New York Jets were an 89, and the Colts, I guess the Colts were in the AFC East back in the day, were an 82. The AFC West, the Broncos were a 93 overall. The Seattle Seahawks were an 86 overall. The Chiefs were an 85. Raiders 84. Chargers 82. The NFC Central, I guess that's what they called it back then. The Packers were a 94. Vikings were a 91. Tampa Bay was an 87. Detroit was an 81. Chicago Bears were a 77. NFC East, the Cowboys were a 91. The Cardinals were an 85. The Giants were an 84. The Redskins were a 77. The Eagles were a 72. The NFC West, Falcons were a 90 overall. The 49ers were an 88. The St. Louis Rams were an 83. The New Orleans Saints were an 83. Carolina Panthers 77. And then you had it actually looks like this was back when the NFL Europe, but honestly, who really cares about that? Who really? That was to give you an idea of how long ago that was. But yeah, shout out to whoever wrote that article. You made it super easy for me, and you included some pretty good facts about that game. So yeah, hopefully we'll be able to give you guys a history lesson about the old Maddens. I want to, if it's possible, to maybe look up the people that were rookies in that year's game, and then say, okay, this guy was a rookie or was a first rounder this year, and then see how his career went from being drafted high overall to where he is today. I think that would be a good, interesting idea. So hopefully we're able to get that going on. So,
do you want me to look it up really quick since we're doing the year 2000?
Yeah, I mean, shit, we might as well. I'll just look up NFL 2000 draft. I don't know.
Yeah, let's see. Madden 2000. Oh, and to draft. Are you looking up the draft?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking up. That's what.
Notable selections: Thomas Jones, Plaxico Burress, Brian Urlacher. Oh, Tom Brady is the last player remaining from the 2000 NFL draft.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was the year he got drafted, huh?
So, here are the 6 QBs drafted before Brady. Chad Pennington, Carmazzi, Chris Redmond, T. Martin, and Mark Bolger.
So like those 6 quarterbacks were taken ahead of Tom Brady, and I've heard of Chad Pennington, but I have no clue who the other guys
I
are.
know Mark
So
Bulger was a Ram. He was actually pretty decent until he got hurt. But other than that, I know Chad Pennington, and that's it.
yeah, I'm actually looking at the first round here, and the only names that I know is Plaxico Burress. I know he won a Super Bowl with New York, if I'm not mistaken, when he beat Tom
Yep.
Brady. And then you had Urlacher, who's I would say Urlacher's a Hall of Famer. Wouldn't you agree? But,
Yeah, he's close for me. I'll say yes, but also yeah, I'll say yes.
Sebastian Janikowski, he's a kicker. I know him. Sean Alexander. The only people that would probably know who he is me and Shane and other people that live, you know, in the Northwest. But anybody else probably wouldn't know who he was or forget. Probably.
You know who the worst team in the NFL was that year?
Who?
The Chargers at 1-15.
Dang.
That's a pretty bad year, bro. That could be like Miami Dolphins.
But anyway, so yeah, that is the first installment of the NFL Week 1 or Week 1. What am I even talking about? The first week of the Madden history lesson, NFL history lesson. So we'll definitely keep that trend going for the remainder until we get all caught up to date.
Damn. Okay. Hey, I want to just. I am looking at NFL stuff, and AB tweeted out, "The game need me like I'm test answers." Eric Weddle replied, "Definitely don't."
Definitely don't.
Wow. That's crazy.
All right, so for our next topic, we are going to. I want to ask Shane, you know, because I feel like, you know, we're about a month into Madden 20, and I feel like it's appropriate to maybe address the state of the game, where it's at right now. Like, and I also want to ask him, like, do you think that the fact, because this was interesting to me, you had one of the lead developers, and Shane probably doesn't know this, but you have one of the lead developers in Madden, Clint Oldenburg, I think his name is. He actually deleted his Twitter, went private, because I don't know if it was because he was getting a lot of heat and a lot of, you know, crap for Madden. So, but Shane, we were talking about this a little bit before we started the podcast, but I mean, what's your overall opinion of the game so far, and what do you think needs to be done in the future?
I was super high. I was super high on this game. I said it was my favorite, and then Madden 16 was the second best, and then Madden 13, and it's sliding. Like, I mean, it is still a decent game, but it is really like, and I don't know, like, I don't know. It's a good game. It's better than 19, 18, and 17 still for me, and that's not saying much because Madden 19 was trash. Madden 18 was the air truck trash garbage, where if they air trucked you'd like get like a glitch or like a force field. But no, basically, you know what? If they just toned down the armbar a little bit and left everything else, it'd be an amazing game. Not only, and you can check out the patch notes on my channel, but not only did they do a bunch of patches to try to fix the one problem, because you know how pros are always in their feelings because they think they're better than everyone, but they patched it, not this time but the time before, and made hit stick conservative tackle accidentally. That can't happen. That can't happen when you're trying to sell it as an esport and make it so popular, and it's on UPN or whatever, or the CW, excuse me. UPN's local, but CW and ESPN and NFL Network, and it's like most people get bored, to be honest, watching Madden, because you want to know the biggest issue with Madden, in my opinion, is, and we went over this last week, but everybody complains about the offense, right? Running's OP, running's OP, running's OP. But nobody ever complains about the defense. Well, a lot of people complain that the run game was OP, and it might have been a little bit, but now it's toned down. But now people are running 1-4-6 and big dime and stopping the run out of power formations because the game is broken in that aspect, because people put like Lawrence Taylor and I think his name's Devin Bush for the Pittsburgh Steelers at linebackers, and they just power through the line and power through the fullback. But look, I'll tell you this right now. If the Seahawks come out in I formation, or a power running team comes out in I form, or a single back, and people come out in a dime look, where they only have 3 down linemen, not the normal dime where it's 4 down, but the big dime, or the quarter or dollar, they're going to get ran on for 5-6 yards. Lawrence Taylor is not knocking backwards a center and a guard and then knocking through the fullback to tackle the running back. That is absolutely not going to happen. But because, the pros were constantly tweeting, and maybe that's why Clint put his stuff to private, because they kept writing him and stuff. Maybe now this big dime is able to stop the run game, and now it works in the favor of pros, because now they can just sit in one defense, and then when you come out in a pass play, just sack you. I did put a video out how to slow it down and how to block it a little bit more easier. It'll help you guys. I just did it today because I felt like the general community needed to learn how to do it. And I did get people telling me that I shouldn't have done that pro people are going to be mad at me. And look, to be honest, to be frank, I don't give a damn. I don't care. Like, if you get that butt hurt because you only have one defense in the game, then the game needs to be fixed. It'd be a real cool thing is if you just sat in one defense and one offense, if the game punished you. But it'll never do that. And yes, well, you got to adapt. You got to do this. But the main problem is, Trey, is that if I come out in a power formation, I'm going to use this again, and you come out in big dime, I should be able to slice you up for 4 or 5 yards of carry. But with all the complaints, now all of a sudden this patch came out, and now all of a sudden the big dime is able to stop power formation. I just played a game right before I got on. I lost, Trey. You know why? I got stopped on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1 at his 45 with him running big dime, and I'm in a power formation, and I have a good fullback, and I have a good offensive line. And Lawrence Taylor both times was able to knock through the left guard center and run into the fullback, and then Bush would come in and tackle Bo Jackson. That just wouldn't happen in a game, is what I'm saying. But, I mean, I think what they need to do, your question was what would you do moving forward if I created the game? Is that what your question was? It's pretty simple to me. I wouldn't listen to the pros. I really wouldn't. I'd listen to the general public. And it's not because I don't like pros. That's not the reason. The reason is the pros, and I explained it to other people, and then people wrote me and were like, damn, you're right, is the pros want to get it to where it's just a passing game again, so they can sit in one defense. Like last year was a contained glitch, and then the 3-3-5 normal, and the year before I think was 3-3-5 odd, and the year before that was nickel normal blitz. They want to be able to sit in one defense and blitz you, and most people aren't going to be able to beat it because they know how to run it really well. So then you're kind of screwed on offense, and then if you try to run it on them, they all have crews, so they learned how to block it and how to exploit the blitz, if you know what I'm saying. and they still have issues beating it. My thing, if I was the creator of Madden, is if you just use one defense, that might be okay. Like, honestly, that might be okay. If I'm in a big dime, and you're just trying to pass all the time, and I'm hot routing and blitzing and not blitzing and dropping people, okay, I don't have a problem with that if you're using just that one defense. My issue is if you're in the big dime, you should not be able to stop goal line and power runs. So I would make you get kind of trucked. I know people hated the whole, like, oh, it knocks me over, like people get knocked over. I liked that. It was trying to show you that you shouldn't be in a dollar formation when somebody's in a power formation. I didn't have a problem with that. I actually enjoyed it. Get out of it, stupid. You know what I mean? Like, but
Yeah.
the problem is they're all over Twitter, and now, like, this game was really good. I didn't even have a problem when everybody was spamming 3-4 pinch and big dime. But now with all the patches, now all of a sudden people are just stopping every run out of big dime, basically. And another thing I would fix is, like, the R1 and R2 where they're covering the ball up on the PS4 and using speed burst. I had Bo Jackson run me over still for a touchdown.
Covering the ball at the same time.
Yep. So they don't fumble, and
Yeah,
so I hit him with Willis, and he just fell down. Yeah, horrible, and it's really bad. And then another thing I would do, so I wouldn't have a problem if you stuck in one defense if it's your pass defense or your run defense. But if you're in a run defense and they're passing on you, you get dotted up. Also, another thing that I would do is for salary cap, I don't think, like, people should be able to use, like, 62 linebackers and then have a bunch of 90 players and their 62 players are as good as an 80 player. That shouldn't work. That shouldn't happen. It's just really, I don't know, it's just really wrong. That's the stuff I would do it, and I would also make whatever PSN or Xbox name you're using, you must use it. And if we find out that you have multiple PSNs to ruin the leaderboard, you will get banned for a season. Not a whole year, but for the tournament season. And then if you do it again, it's 2 tournaments, and you do it again 3. Because the problem is, what I'm seeing also, Trey, is people are, especially late in the season, a lot of pros are making dub accounts, and then they ruin the leaderboards because they steal all the juice from the top 100 players, but at the same time they're really like a top 20 player, but they made a different PSN or Xbox, so then they can ruin the leaderboards. And if it was any other thing, like, there's tons of stuff. Only, like, you see it everywhere. One entry only for contests and prizes. So I would change that. So basically what I would change is you can't be in just a pass defense or run defense and be able to stop both. I would not listen to the pros as much as the general public, because the pros really are helping themselves. They really just want it about themselves, where more the general public wants a fun, real kind of game. And I would also make it where if your salary cap players suck, they don't get to be as good as an 80 player just because you blitzed them. You get knocked down. A horrible defensive tackle is going to get knocked over by, like, Tyron Smith for the Dallas Cowboys at left tackle. So that stuff like that, and it's simple, just simple things. Simple things would make the game so much better. And then the main thing is if you make fake accounts to ruin the leaderboards, you get banned for a season. If you do it 2 or 3 times, if you do it 3 times, you get banned for a year. That will cut it out completely. I mean, I don't know what you think, Trey, but I mean, I that's what I would do.
Yeah. You know, if I was in this position, I'd like to think that I would want to be like Rex was, because like Rex was probably, he was like us in a way, because he he was a developer, but he would also go into other people's streams and like say, like even if it wasn't like some big name Twitch streamer, he would go into someone else's stream and be like, "Hey man, how's it going? You know how you like the game and that sort of a thing." And that would be the kind of person that I would be, and that's kind of the person that I would like, because I feel like this company, EA Sports, they just flat out don't know our community. They don't know what's going on. But the problem is that they have a monopoly on NFL games. So people that want to experience the NFL and simulation and play like the real NFL, we don't have another game that we could experience with that. So we're basically forced with this game. So, and I also think the problem is that with MUT, they don't. I feel like with MUT they only try to target the MUT players because of course they're a business, so that's their main source of revenue. So yeah, I mean there would be some players like me. I can put $60 to buy the game. I can play online head-to-head, whatever, where the abilities aren't too crazy. But I mean, I think everybody loves the concept of MUT, right? I mean, it's a game mode where you can collect cards and you're able to play with those cards. And I always keep thinking, like, what if there was some, 13-year-old kid, 14-year-old kid that was like, hey, I want to experience this game mode. I want to try to grind, MUT and make it a ultimate team, and then he ends up getting into a game where someone who has a way better team that has 99s all over the place, and then he gets blown out. Like, do you think that kid's gonna want to play the game again? Like, no, not really. But I mean, the problem is that they don't really care about him. So I mean, so that's my little 2 cents on it. I just think EA needs to be more in touch with the community, like Rex was, because they don't know what we want. And if you're gonna pull pro players, why not just pull everybody? Get the pro players, and then get feedback from the YouTube side of things. Get feedback from the people that play franchise a lot. Just try to find a common ground for everybody.
Well, I agree with everything. I think that's an awesome idea, and unfortunately, like you just said, and I said it before, and we agree on it, is they don't really care. They care more about like what the pro players are doing and like what the pro players say. And like, think about this. Okay, let's just say I'm going to use you as an example, Trey. You make up a team, like you're saying, a young kid. We can even use the young kid as an example. You go out and you can't afford $600, $700, $800, $900, $1,000+. You can't afford to play the game 24/7 like these guys do, and you have like and you try to build a real team. Like, for example, I try to build a real team, like where they're decent at everywhere, and then you go against a guy who knows that, like, a pro player that knows, like, oh, I'm going to use that fast linebacker who's a 64 silver but 87 speed, and he's going to run down and play like he's an 80. That way I can make my players like a 95 or a 96. You really think the guy's going to have fun playing, a guy who has a 95, 96 when you only have 80s? No.
Yeah, no, definitely not. So I mean, EA, you don't have to talk to me. It's whatever. But as somebody who's a part of this community and as someone that wants to be involved and someone that just loves Madden and that has a passion for it, it's just a little bit depressing that the people that are behind the scenes working on it, like, they probably don't even know what's going on. I've literally seen, because like when Madden 20 comes out, Madden 19 comes out, and how you have IGN or like these YouTube channels that review the games, review any games. It's pretty hilarious, because the people that review the games, they give the rating of the game like an 8 or a 9, and you can tell by the way that they play. Like, they have the camera view that they play on and all that. Like, you can tell that person that's reviewing the game probably doesn't play Madden at all, and that they don't know what we're going through. But they don't want they don't want someone that actually plays the game to give it a review. I wonder why that is. So, Owen.
It's you know, usually I think that the patch helps the game. Like last year, I totally agreed that patching Scum Kick and the contain glitch, that was needed. I fully agree with that. I was on board with that. But like this year, I swear we've had more patches this year than last year already.
Well, I mean, shit. I mean, every week is a patch, right? I mean.
Yeah, I feel like it's bigger. And then I heard, I know a guy, I'm not gonna say who it is, but he told me that there's gonna be probably another a big patch in a couple weeks, and I think that'll be right before the salary club tournaments starting. So in a couple weeks would roughly it'd be about October 10th or 11th, and leaderboards end October 14th. So I would assume. What is 2 weeks from now? What day? Because it's a Thursday. I'm sorry.
2 weeks.
October 10th?
I thought you were talking about Halloween for some reason.
No. Because he told me that like in a couple weeks there's going to be a very big patch. Like a very big one. Not like little ones, but a big one. So
big.
I'm wondering... You said is it October 10th? Did you confirm?
Yeah, it's October 10th. So that's when you heard it here first on the West Coast Madden podcast. So expect a big patch to come in the coming weeks.
Yeah, it's supposed to be pretty big. At least that's what he told me. He didn't tell me what it was going to be about or anything. So. I can't tell you guys exactly, but yes, that is fresh news. You guys we will be getting a big patch by at least October 14th. At least what he told me. He couldn't say much more than that. Just they're gonna do some stuff before the salary cap leaderboards ended and the tournament started. Yeah,
don't ask Shane where he gets his sources from, because I'm pretty sure he's not allowed to say. He's not allowed to talk about.
No, all I'll say is that I lucked into talking to him in Madden 16, and he's helped me off and on whenever I wrote. I try not to write very much, right. And I just wanted to know what was going on with all these patches, and I was told that there's going to be a huge patch in a couple weeks, but I'm not going to say much more than that. So we shall see. We shall see. He hasn't always been right. I mean, knock on wood. I hope he's not going to listen to this podcast later on. Probably not. But he hasn't always been right. But for the most part, he has. He has been pretty right on things. So. I don't know I can only guess, like, are they going to fix Scum Kick? Are they going to patch up, Dime 146? Or, you know what I mean? Like, what are they doing?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like because there's not, the Scum Kick is real, like, I don't know how it is in MUD, but I know that on ranked it's whatever, but have you seen that onside glitch kick where someone will come out in onside, and then when you come out in regular kick formation, and then they kick it, like you ever seen that? You know what I'm talking about,
Are you talking about where they come out in onsides and then audible it and catch you caught up switching up, and then they cheap shot it basically?
Yeah, kind of.
Can you still do that this year? I thought that they didn't allow you to this year.
Well, all I know is that I've been in a few games, and so like he came out at onsides, and then I called a timeout, right? And then when I came back in onside kick formation, he like kicked it, and then it like went all the way back, and then I get and it's weird. I'll have to show it to you. I'm doing a bad job at explaining.
Well, I know in Mutt the scum kick is like pretty crappy, and it's pretty scummy if you want to know the truth. And I figured out kind of why it works more on Mutt than on regs. And that's because, in my personal opinion, the kickers are usually like an 82 to an 85 overall, right? In regs, their players are probably better than that, better than like an 82, 83 for the most part. So I think in Mutt they don't have as much kick power. So, anyways, that's a good discussion.
Yeah, it's a good discussion. Also, Shane does, whenever a patch does come out, he will be the first one to make a video about it and talk about the patch notes. So be sure to subscribe and have notifications on so that you're notified of this.
Quick! I'm gonna interrupt Trey. I'm interrupting right now. I apologize, but bro, I'm gonna let you guys know. I know a lot of people check this, watch a podcast later on the next day at like a workout or work. So I appreciate it. I'm not even worried about how many people are in the chat. I mean, I'd like way more, but I mean, I've been told that the people listen to it at work or at the gym. But anyways, so you know how I put out the patch, right? Patch notes?
Yeah.
I've done that since last year, the start of last year. There is a popular YouTuber now that is trying to do that too, and I'm not going to say who it is, that's now trying to put out patch notes like I do.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. It's crazy though. But hopefully, people keep coming here because they know, that I was the first person that came out with the patch notes.
Yeah, exactly. So definitely because obviously whoever this popular YouTuber is, he's gonna have more views, whatever. But I mean, it's a struggle to like when you're a YouTuber, you have to try to find a niche. What is that the word? If it's niche, whatever it's called, but find a niche that that there's a viewing for and that there's an audience for. So I mean, that's really what we're trying to do. Some people it's Mutt, some people it's pack openings, sometimes it's live streaming, whatever, just trying to find what your niche is in views. So but with all that being said, we are going to move on to the unpopular opinion segment of the show. I know that I have my unpopular opinion, but I'm gonna toss it over to Shane to see if he has one for this week.
Oh yeah. I mean, people argue with this. I was talking with other people that are grinding for the club, and when you play salary cap Mutt, a couple years back, I think it was like Madden 18. I think I started to try it, and I did like a couple games, didn't like it, and it was called salary cap, and it was all pro. Well, then Madden 19 comes along, and I'm like, hell yeah, it says all Madden. I'm like, this is weird. The speed still feels way different. And people and pros told me, well, that's because, in regs, there's way better players everywhere. And I was still confused, and I was like, okay, whatever. I mean, I don't know much about salary cap. Well, then this year, okay, now I'm doing salary cap more. I'm starting to understand, yada, yada. It says all Madden salary cap. My unpopular opinion is more like just facts on this one. It says salary cap all Madden, but it is not the true all Madden. Regs all Madden is the true all Madden. Salary cap all Madden is the equivalent of all pro on regs. And the reason why I know is because I did 2 money games for people who do head-to-head ranked, and they decided to try it out on Gamer Saloon, and they said only all pro, so I said whatever, let's do it. It was the exact same speed and gameplay as salary cap all Madden. Salary cap all Madden is not all Madden, it's all pro, and they're faking people out by saying it's all Madden. That's my unpopular opinion.
Well, what, do you have do you have a theory on why it says that it's all Madden? Like why they would say that it is?
Because because people in Madden 18 when I used to watch the streams when I was bored when they do like the not the you know the tournaments for EA, people
Right.
like general public would write in there and be like, why are you guys on All Pro when the top thing is All Madden? Shouldn't your best players play on All Madden? So
Yeah, so it's an easy fix, you know, just say, hey, this is all Madden, even though it's not
yeah, all you have to do
real.
is type it in. If nobody wants to believe me, just play salary cap and then go to All Pro regs and it'll be the exact same. The exact same game speed, the exact time, exact movements, and just trust me. Salary cap all Madden is not really all Madden; it's all Pro. I don't give a damn if that's what it says. Because if it's on all Madden, it should be the same as all Madden regs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the game speed is just totally different.
Totally different. So, I mean, I think head to head is all pro, right? That's what you play on?
Yeah, head to head online is all pro.
Okay, you've played salary cap when we're just goofing around with each other. Do you think it's the same?
Right. I would say it is actually. Now that I think about it, it's pretty similar,
Pretty close.
yeah, more or less.
And then when you do all Madden regs, it is super fast. Am I? Oh
Yeah,
man.
it's fast for sure. But what about I feel like Mud Draft last year was kind of all Madden-ish in a way. At least,
I think it was more. I can't, but see, I can't tell. And see, maybe people are right. Maybe it's because. No, never mind. Never mind. I'm gonna still say no. I was gonna say maybe the pros that are kind of decent that talk to me say, well, that's because on all Madden regs you have a lot of good people out there or good enough, and then when you're playing salary cap, there's only a few good players, and then the rest are like whatever. But I was like, that still doesn't matter with the game speed. Like even when I kick, the kicking meter goes faster on all Madden. The timing's
yeah,
different too when you try to pick the ball off.
yeah. All right, so my unpopular opinion, I'm going to dive headfirst into and I know a lot of people aren't going to agree with me, but I feel like because the new thing is running's overpowered. And honestly, I don't really play much, so I couldn't tell you about the Bo Jackson, the armbar. I can only tell you about the Zeke armbar, which I'm pretty sure is probably a watered down version of all the Yu-Gi-Oh type things that you find in Mud. However, I feel like people like when you had gun punch and you had corner routes and you had Pat Sale, you had gun punch weak. Like why weren't people complaining when it was that was taken over? Why is it that when the running's overpowered now all of a sudden people are complaining about it? Like you know what I mean? Like why is it now when you have running being a prominent form of the game that's when you decide, okay, I'm gonna complain, but when it's gun punch, and the argument that I hear is oh, because in Madden passings it's boring to watch. It's boring to watch, people run the ball every play. But but I it's like what's more boring? I mean, I agree. Watching people run the ball, it's not really that exciting to me. I'm not gonna lie, but if I had to choose between the two, between watching a runner and watching Pat Sale every play, I would say that running is probably more exciting to watch because at least when someone's running the ball and they get into open field, you can see like their stick work versus just seeing a 10-yard corner route, boom, a drag route, boom. But I still don't think that it's necessarily exciting to watch, but it's an argument that I hear. from pro players, and it's like they didn't think that seeing gun bunch was exciting to watch. They just did it because it was good, but because now there's something that they don't like and that they want to complain about it. That's when they pull out the it's not interesting to watch card. So again, I know that a lot of people aren't going to agree with me, but I just think that it's ridiculous. I mean, again, do I think it's really that fun to watch? No, not really. But at the end of the day, I just feel like people just want to pass the ball, and then when something that's a little bit different that they don't like, that they want to complain about it. So that's my unpopular opinion for today.
Yeah, I mean, I really agree with you on it, and maybe because I like running the ball. I mean, yes, I don't think like the armbar for like Bo Jackson when the defense has no abilities. I don't think that was fair in salary cap. But like, I mean, to be honest, like my stick work is really, really good for a runner, and I mean, to me, that's more exciting to watch somebody who can run the ball very well than, like you said, hey, I'm going to run pat sails and do a corner route, and then I'm going to go deep post, and then a drag and a slant, and the defense dumbs out no matter what you're in. If you try to do man, somebody comes open. You know what I mean? But what really has killed the game is the zero originality. People just sitting in one defense all game. A lot of the general public doesn't like that. They really don't. They hate it. They want it like real football. And I'm sorry, spamming big dime 1-4-6 every play is not the answer.
It's really not. And now that I think about it, there was this tweet that was sent out because I guess there was a butthead tournament, and then someone tweeted out like, "Oh, this game sucks. I won the biggest tournament in Mutt League, and I didn't pass one time." Now, I was just thinking about this, and I almost kind of thought of a conspiracy. And Shane, you can tell me if this conspiracy is kind of far-fetched, or if it's something that it wouldn't surprise you if it actually happened, But if they have this tournament, like, is it too crazy or too out of the realm to think that the pro players almost collaborated and said, hey, we don't like how the run game is in this league, so let's have our butthead tournament and purposely run and get crazy yards, so that way when it's all said and done, we could tweet about it and complain and say we won this game without passing one time. Like, do you think that could happen, or is that a little bit too out there?
I think it's a little bit out there, but not as much in the sense of too far. Like, here's my opinion. No, because I believe that was worth a bunch of money, right?
Yeah, well, I don't know how much money.
I think it was like $30K, and I know who you're talking about, but it's no different. Most pros just hate running, okay? They hate running the ball because, to be honest, a lot of the pros users suck. They suck.
Right.
I'm not trying to be rude or anything, and I know I can get downvoted, but a lot of the users suck. So why they have a problem with the run game is you take the blitz out of the equation. You see what I'm saying? So now you have to make a tackle. That's why all the pros are doing the click off, where they just run their safety in and click off because they're afraid to tackle. Let's be honest, they're afraid to tackle, and so they want the run. They don't like the run game. They want you to have to pass because then they're going to beat 99% of the people by using their one defense and getting sacks and picks. And other than that, no. Like, to be honest, like, I think you're not far out in the sense of like a conspiracy. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a conspiracy, but it's like you don't hear pros complain when most pros don't complain when it's just a passing game, because They know how to exploit the defense. The conspiracy is more the sense of, for me, like if I'm going to throw out a conspiracy, it's more the pros complain on Twitter, besides being poor sports, but they complain on Twitter to try to make you become a pass game. They all are kind of cool with each other. They still have all crews. So, for example, if they're on Twitter all the time saying, the run game's too easy, the run game's too easy, the run game's too easy, well, then what's kind of gotten happen is the patch has kind of made it where the run's a little bit harder, and now 146 is stopping the defense. I feel like the conspiracy is, do the pros all complain about something so that they can be better at it than you? They'll force the developers and the patch people to put the game in their favor, if you know what I'm talking about. I might not have explained it perfectly, but like, they want to sit in 146. So if they tone down the run game, people have to pass, and then if they have to pass, what is all the pros sitting in right now? 146.
Yeah, and really, it's kind of a shame when you think about it, because if you have, like someone like Problem Right or Young Tiv, Dubby, whoever, and if they tweet out something, saying, I don't like this about the game, and then you have someone completely random tweet out about the game that's not involved with the community, then that tweet in the eyes of EA and the people that develop the game doesn't mean as much as someone that is a pro. And in a way, I mean, yeah, that makes sense, because these are the same people that put a lot of hours into the game. But at the same time, man, like if I'm a pro player and I'm the status of Young Kid or whatever, then I would like try to talk to some people, the general public, about what they like about the game. Because I know that I have the power to give those people, a voice, essentially.
Right. No, they don't care, Trey. Pros don't care. They're about themselves, and they stick with their crews, and then they get off about how great they are. When in reality, they are good. They are. But they stick in one defense, complain enough till the patch happens. Like, look, if the patch never happened, there'd be no 146. There just wouldn't, because people would just pound the rock on you. Now all of a sudden people can stop the run out of 146. The other thing is, before we wrap this up, because we're going a little bit extra overtime, you're right though about I've seen tweets, and I've made tweets myself on Twitter where I've seen people have some good ideas, and I've had some good ideas. They never answer me or those people, but like if a Kiv or a Skimbo or a Problem Right, they all write them back.
Right, exactly. So.
Because they're friends. But see, in the same time, what people need to understand is they're friends with them. These developers are now friends with the Skimbos and the Kivs and the people like that, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. But anyways, anything else? Because we're gonna stop this podcast. Do you have anything else, Trey?
No, that's pretty much it. I appreciate you guys for stopping by to the podcast. Be sure to tune in next week. I'm not really sure what's going to be going on next week, but as you all know, there's always something that's going to come up to talk about. So be on the lookout for that. I appreciate you guys stopping by, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week.
All right, you guys, that was another episode of the West Coast Madden podcast. I'm Shanegotyou11, and with me always was Trey. We will see you at the next Thursday at the same time, same place. Till then, have a good weekend.